All right, what's up, Tycoon? Super excited for today's video. We got a viewer request, okay? TTOO, T2 biosystems. So if you want to see your stock analyzed next, like this one, make sure to comment below and I'll get to it as soon as I can, okay? I do them every week, so just stay tuned for them, all right? What we're going to do is look at the 10-year weekly chart, right? So we're looking at the price action from the past 10 years, okay? Um, and all of this right here is what I want to highlight. Okay. That's what's known as the volume profile. Super, super important. Most people are familiar with volume by time. Okay. But they fail to neglect, volume by price. Okay. So the first thing that I want to show you guys that's really, really important, right, as we zoom in here is look at our volume profile. Look at our volume nodes. Look at the highest volume node, right? It's down here, all right, where we are currently at. Okay, we were trading in these levels here previously in the past. All right, and buyers stepped in. Okay, and we've seen buyers step in before. And what we're seeing is that most of the price action, most of the volume of this stock occurs below 13 cents a share. All right, now what does that, what does that smell like to me? Okay, that smells like some institutional money coming in, right? Why, who's really going to be able to, move the volume and really show the greatest amount of volume? It's not going to be retail traders stepping in, right? Even if you have deep pockets in your retail trader, let's say you have $50 million, $100 million, you're not going to be able, retail traders aren't going to be able to manipulate the stock and manipulate the volume, right? So the volume by price is really going to show you what's going on. Okay. So that looks really, really good to me. All right. Now, what we see here also is that this is our peak, okay, up to about $1.59. So right in between here is historically in the past 10 years where the most price action, most volume has occurred. Okay. So now that we've got that out the way, right, we'll zoom in to the weekly or to the daily chart. But before we do, want to highlight one last thing. Look at our weekly RSI. Okay. And every time we've approached oversold territory, the stock has had a very sharp run up afterwards. Okay. Now, it may not live forever, but look, here. All right. All these levels where it's oversold and then it shoots right up. Okay. Oversold here. All right. And look, shoots right up. All right. Oversold here on this day, pulls up. Right. Oversold here. And then we have a very sharp move up. All right. So just want to highlight that, and next what we're going to do is go ahead and take a look at that daily chart I was showing you guys, or I was speaking of. And I think it's a great time to really do some of your own research on this company and see if it's something you want to invest in. Because as a technical analysis, from a technical standpoint, there's a lot of good things I'm seeing. Okay. We already went over how the volume is mostly occurring right around that 13 cents level. So if you can get in there, that could be a potential long-term investment area, right? If you're looking to hold long-term. If you're looking to trade short-term, it's given you very, very clear signals, right? We have something known as bullish divergence highlighted by these circles here, all right, and our trend lines on the RSI. Okay, so what we have is known as a low, all right, and then a lower low and a lower low. So we've made three lower lows, right? And look at our RSI. We have a low, we have a higher low, right? And then we have a higher low again at this point. So as we've come down, right, and the price of the stock has dropped, the actual strength of the stock at that price has been increasing, right? And what do you see? You see a massive move from 11 cents all the way up to 30 cents right here. Okay, that's a massive move. And that was really, really great opportunities, and it gave us a few entry points now, right? So what we can do as a trader, we can look to see, all right, well, if it pulls back, we have this trend line on our RSI to possibly catch, right? And we can look to establish an entry here and look to see if that bullish divergence is going to continue and cause a further, a bigger move to the upside, right? Or we can look and see if we're going to follow this trend line here, right? So if we break this one, okay, we may come down and test this trend line on the RSI. All right. So those are two entry points if you are a trader, right? If you are a bag holder, right, and you're looking to drop a bag on this, here's what I like. Okay. We have gaps. All right. Gaps is going to be this box right here. and this box right here. These fill 90 to 95% of the time historically in the stock market. Okay. So the reason that I'm showing that to you right now and really kind of emphasizing it, okay, is because look at the possible returns here. Okay. So if we were to come and fill the gap all the way up to the top, okay, that would be a 180% return. Okay. If we bought in right now at the price that it's at and held long term, because it may take a while, right? It could take a month, it could take a year, it could take 5 years for these gaps to fill. Okay. But what I like is that we have bullish divergence and we have this even closer gap to fill. Okay. That would net a 44% return. Okay. So, you can get in now and look to see if we're going to play this, and look to play that gap. Okay. Biotech has been really, really high. All right. I've covered bingo. Okay. Bio nano genomics. And we did really, really well on the shares in the Discord, right? Up about 135% on a biotech play. We have T2 biosystems here. We saw that it just already squeezed kind of, right? Went from 11 cents up to 30 cents. All right. Dropped down after earnings. We had earnings here. All right. And this could be an overreaction due to earnings. Okay. This stock has a history. All right. Here's our past earnings. All right. It has a history of gapping down on earnings. Okay. Where we create this gap here. All right. And look what happened again. Earnings came, we dropped. All right. And we created a gap here. Now we haven't filled this gap yet. Right. We haven't filled this gap yet. So it's not to say that just because earnings came and this thing dropped, you should buy it. It's been dropping, okay, and it's continued to drop. It's had a nice move, and again, if we come down even and make a lower low again, right, as we've done, low, lower low, lower low, and we come down here, okay, look to see if we're going to bounce off of this trend line or this trend line here. All right, that would be a good entry to me, right, because then you have a very tight risk to reward ratio, right? You're basically going to risk breaking here, breaking either this trend line or this trend line, right? And once we break and start trading below there, you would cut your play, right? And if you're buying right at the bounce of the trend line, that wouldn't be a very dramatic loss. And then your risk, your reward potential, right, would either be this gap up here, okay, or as I said before, if you're looking to, be a bag holder and just kind of sit on something and let it cook, and it may take a few years, and with fairly decent odds of success, right? We know that the gaps fill 90 to 95% of the time historically. So it's just a matter of when, right? It's not so much if it's going to fill, it's when it's going to fill, right? We've been in a very big bear market. So bullish gaps up aren't going to fill in a bearish cycle. So what we would need to see is a bullish cycle into this, okay, to drive the price up, right? So we have a downtrend. We have a little bit of some consolidation sideways here. We could possibly be starting the reversal, okay, and starting the uptrend, okay? So that's basically it for TTOO. It does look really, really good. It's super cheap as well. So if you have a smaller account, maybe this is something where you can try to start trading and learning and practicing some strategies, okay? Appreciate you watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.